Welcome back to the Conversion Bible. We always talk about the best apps and tools to boost those sales numbers, and today we're diving into one that's completely free, already built into your Shopify store, but often overlooked.
No, I like where this is going. Sounds like we're about to uncover a hidden gem.
Exactly. And it's something you're already collecting whether you realize it or not. Customer feedback. We're talking reviews, testimonials, survey responses, even those quick comments people leave on your social media posts. It's a goldmine of information.
I see it all the time, though. So many store owners get caught up in the technical stuff, the fancy marketing strategies, that they forget the most powerful tool they have is the actual voice of their customers.
Right. It's like having a never-ending focus group, giving you direct insights into what's working, what's not, and what people really want from your store.
And it's not just about gut feeling. The data backs this up big time. Stores that actively use customer feedback, especially those that showcase reviews prominently, can see their conversion rates increase by, get this, up to 270%.
270%. That's not a nudge. That's a whole leap forward.
It is, and it all comes down to trust. Think about it. 91% of shoppers trust online reviews just as much as a personal recommendation from someone they know.
Wow, 91%. So basically, those reviews are like having your best friend vouch for your store to every new visitor.
Exactly. So today, we're on a mission. We're going to break down exactly how you can turn all this valuable customer feedback into a conversion powerhouse for your Shopify store. We'll cover everything from the best ways to collect feedback to the most strategic places to display it, and even some clever tricks to turn those insights into real, actionable improvements.
And because we love a good success story, we'll also sprinkle in some real-world examples of Shopify stores that have completely transformed their businesses by simply listening to what their customers have to say.
Sounds like we've got a packed deep dive ahead of us.
We do. Now, let's talk about why this is so crucial, especially for those of you running Shopify stores. Unlike a brick-and-mortar shop where people can touch, feel, and ask questions, your online store relies heavily on building trust and conveying information digitally.
Absolutely. You don't have that face-to-face interaction to build rapport. You're relying on photos, descriptions, and, crucially, the experiences of others who have already taken that leap of faith and purchased from you.
That's where customer feedback steps in. It's like a virtual handshake, instantly building credibility and giving hesitant shoppers the reassurance they need to feel confident in their purchase.
And for Shopify store owners, the benefits are pretty amazing. Think about it. Genuine feedback can create immediate trust with new visitors, significantly reducing those dreaded abandoned carts. When people see real positive experiences, they're way more likely to hit that buy button.
Right, it tackles those doubts head on. And it's not just about immediate sales either. This feedback is a goldmine of information you can use to make your products and your entire store experience even better.
Oh, 100%. Are people consistently mentioning a feature they wish your product had? Or maybe they're raving about your super fast shipping. That's direct intel you can use to refine your offerings and really wow your customers.
And here's a bonus. All those reviews and comments, they're fresh, authentic content that Google loves. It's like free SEO, boosting your store's visibility and search results.
It's a win-win all around. And speaking of wins, let's talk numbers. Stores that have active review sections, we're talking those where customers are regularly leaving feedback, often see a 15 to 25% boost in their average order value.
So not only are more people buying, they're buying more too.
Precisely. And those return rates, they tend to plummet. When people are confident in their purchase, they're less likely to send things back.
Yeah.
And that stat we mentioned earlier about products with just 5 reviews being 270% more likely to be purchased. That's a game changer for any Shopify store owner.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, let's dive a bit deeper into the psychology behind this. Why is customer feedback so powerful?
It all boils down to this fascinating concept called social proof. As humans, we're hardwired to look to others for cues on how to behave, especially when we're uncertain. So when a potential customer lands on your Shopify store for the first time, they're naturally a bit cautious.
Makes sense. They don't know you, they haven't experienced your brand before, and handing over their credit card details requires a level of trust.
Exactly. And that's where social proof kicks in. Seeing that other people, real customers like themselves, have bought from you and had a great experience, it eases those anxieties and builds that trust faster than almost anything else. It's like a silent endorsement that says, hey, this is a safe and reliable place to shop.
And that's why even a handful of positive reviews can have such a dramatic impact on your conversion rates. It's that initial nudge that turns a hesitant browser into a confident buyer.
Let me break down the specific ways this works. First, it builds trust, which we've talked about. Second, it reduces purchase anxiety. If someone's on the fence about a product, seeing a detailed review that addresses their specific concerns can be all it takes to push them over the edge.
Right, it takes away that fear of the unknown.
Third, it fosters a sense of community. An active review section shows that there's a real group of people who love your brand, and that can be very appealing to new customers.
It's like joining a club where everyone's happy with their membership.
Exactly. And finally, it mitigates risk. By reading about the experiences of others, shoppers can get a much clearer sense of whether a product will actually meet their needs, which reduces the perceived risk of making that purchase.
Okay, so we know positive feedback is crucial, but what about the not so positive stuff? How do we handle those inevitable negative reviews?
That's a great question, and this is where that negativity bias comes in. As humans, we tend to focus more on negative information. It just sticks with us more. So even a single scathing review can have a disproportionate impact on potential buyers.
Yikes. So ignoring them is not an option.
Not at all. In fact, handling negative reviews well can actually build more trust than having only perfect reviews. It shows you're listening, you care, and you're willing to address issues.
So transparency and responsiveness are key.
Absolutely. Acknowledge the feedback, apologize if appropriate, and outline the steps you're taking to resolve the problem. This not only helps the individual customer, but also reassures everyone else watching that you take customer satisfaction seriously.
Makes sense. Now, let me move on to the different types of customer feedback you can collect for your Shopify store. It's a lot more diverse than just those star ratings.
Oh yeah, we're talking a whole spectrum of valuable insights. And the more types you can tap into, the more complete picture you'll have of your customer experience.
Let's break it down. We've got the classic product reviews and ratings, those familiar five-star systems with written comments. They're essential for social proof and are often the first thing shoppers look for.
Then we have customer testimonials, which are broader statements about the overall experience with your brand, not just specific products. Those are fantastic for building trust on those key pages, like your homepage or About Us section.
Post-purchase surveys are another great tool. You can send these out after someone buys from you to get structured feedback on their whole journey, from browsing to delivery.
Don't forget social media mentions. When people organically talk about your brand on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, that's pure gold. Just remember to get their permission before you share those glowing comments on your website.
Absolutely. And those conversations happen with your customer support team. They're a goldmine, too. What questions are people asking? What problems are they running into? These interactions can reveal crucial pain points you might not catch otherwise.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Audio and video feedback are gaining serious traction, and for good reason. Ever seen those video testimonials?
Oh, yeah, those are powerful.
They are. Research shows they can boost conversion rates by up to 80%. Seeing and hearing a real person rave about your product creates a whole different level of connection.
So encourage those video reviews if you can. And then there's user-generated content, those amazing customer photos and videos showcasing your products in real-life situations. They're relatable, authentic, and just plain fun to watch.
For even deeper insights, consider in-depth customer interviews. Sit down with a few of your most engaged customers and have a real conversation. You'll be surprised by the nuggets of wisdom you can uncover.
And last but not least, don't underestimate the power of behavioral feedback. Track what people are actually doing on your website using analytics tools, heat maps, and session recordings. Where are they clicking? Where are they dropping off? It reveals those hidden friction points they might not even mention in a review.
Exactly. So, by incorporating a mix of all these different feedback types, you'll get a much more complete and actionable understanding of what's truly going on with your customer experience.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the different types of feedback. Now let's move on to the how. How do we actually convince our customers to share their thoughts and experiences?
The key here is to make the whole feedback process as easy and rewarding as possible. You want people to feel like they're being heard, not like they're filling out a tedious survey.
Right, no one wants to jump through hoops just to leave a review. So, first up, timing is everything. When and where you ask for feedback can make a big difference.
For physical products, think about sending those review requests 5 to 7 days after delivery. It gives people enough time to actually use the product and form a solid opinion. For digital products, you could probably reach out a bit sooner, maybe 24 to 48 hours after download.
And think about the touch points too. Post-purchase emails, order confirmation pages, even a well-timed follow-up message can all be great opportunities to ask for feedback.
Next, let's talk about reducing friction. Make the process super simple. Limit the number of required fields, enable easy photo and video uploads, maybe even offer those one-click review submission options directly within your emails. The less effort it takes, the more people will participate.
And while we want honest and authentic feedback, a little incentive never hurts. Consider offering a small discount on their next purchase, creating a loyalty program that rewards feedback, or even running fun contests.
Just remember to be transparent and emphasize that all feedback is valuable, both the good and the constructive.
Definitely. And think multi-channel. Don't just rely on email. Explore SMS for quick ratings, social media prompts for user-generated content, even well-placed on-site pop-ups to catch those in-the-moment opinions.
Oh, and before we forget, a quick word about compliance. Always disclose if you're offering incentives for reviews, follow all those GDPR and data privacy rules, be crystal clear about how you'll use the feedback, and always get permission before using testimonials in your marketing.
Transparency and respect are paramount. Okay, so now you've got those reviews rolling in. How do we make those product reviews work harder to boost conversions on those product pages?
This is where strategic placement comes in. Think of it like visual merchandising, but for your reviews.
So, first things first, those summary star ratings need to be front and center, right next to your product titles and prices. That's the first thing shoppers' eyes are drawn to.
Absolutely. Also, clearly show the total number of reviews a product has. The more, the better. It builds instant credibility. And consider showcasing a couple of those really compelling reviews, maybe with photos or videos, right above the fold so they're immediately visible without scrolling.
Don't forget those collection pages either. Even a snippet of a review or an average star rating on those product thumbnails can entice clicks.
Now, how you display those reviews matters too. Make sure your system allows shoppers to filter by star rating, most recent, most helpful, things like that. Use attractive carousels for photo and video reviews, pick easy-to-read fonts, and make sure the whole section is visually appealing and not overwhelming.
Oh, and highlight those key phrases from longer reviews. Make it easy for shoppers to skim and get the gist.
Right. And make it super simple for people to find the reviews that are most relevant to them.
So like if I'm shopping for jeans, I might want to filter for reviews from people with a similar body type.
Exactly. Or if I'm looking for a laptop, I might want to see reviews that mention battery life.
Got it. So highlight those relevant attributes. And what about those verified buyer badges? Those seem to add a lot of credibility.
They do. Instantly signal authenticity. And speaking of authenticity, let's talk about those negative reviews. No one loves getting them, but they're a fact of life. And honestly, they can be a huge opportunity.
How so?
Because handling them well builds trust. Respond promptly and professionally. Offer solutions. Highlight your commitment to customer service. Never, ever delete legitimate negative reviews. Transparency wins the day.
So embrace the imperfections.
Exactly. And to make those positive reviews really pop, highlight key indicators. Show how recent the reviews are, emphasize the total volume, maybe even add a helpful voting system so shoppers can upvote the most valuable feedback.
Oh, and celebrate those milestones. Hit 500 five-star reviews, shout it from the rooftops.
Absolutely. Putting all this together can lead to a massive uplift in your product page conversion rates, especially for those higher-priced items where shoppers need that extra reassurance.
Okay, we've optimized those product pages, but the power of customer feedback goes way beyond that, right?
It does. We can infuse it into our entire marketing strategy across all channels to make everything we do more effective.
Let's start with social media ads. We all know how powerful visuals are, so why not incorporate those glowing reviews and customer photos directly into your ad creatives?
Exactly. Those carousel ads are perfect for this. Showcase a beautiful product image alongside a rave review, maybe even a customer photo, and watch those click-through rates soar.
Don't forget to mention those star ratings and review counts in your ad copy, too. Instant social proof.
And you can even use that positive feedback to create lookalike audiences on platforms like Facebook. Target new potential customers who share similar characteristics with your happiest reviewers. It's a great way to expand your reach and find those ideal customers.
Smart. Now, email marketing is another area where reviews can shine. Sprinkle them into those abandoned cart emails, create dedicated customer favorites campaigns showcasing your top-rated products, even include a recently reviewed section in your newsletters.
And post-purchase emails are a prime opportunity to reinforce that buying decision. Share compelling customer success stories and case studies that highlight the value and benefits of what they just bought.
Oh, and don't forget about content marketing. Weave those customer success stories and reviews into your blog posts, FAQs, and guides.
Exactly. Let's say you're writing a blog post about how to choose the perfect running shoes. Why not include a few quotes from customers who rave about the comfort and support of a particular model? It instantly adds credibility and relatability.
And think about using those customer testimonials in your retargeting campaigns. Show specific product reviews to people who viewed that item but didn't buy. It's a gentle reminder and a chance to address any lingering hesitations.
And for a real deep dive, develop those compelling case studies and success stories featuring your most enthusiastic customers. Maybe even create some engaging video testimonials. These can be shared across all your marketing channels and really pack an emotional punch.
The key takeaway here is consistency. Make sure you're presenting that customer feedback in a unified and compelling way across every touchpoint.
Now, let's zoom out a bit and talk about strategic placement throughout your entire Shopify store. Where else can we sprinkle that customer love to enhance the shopping experience?
That's so important. Different pages serve different purposes, so we need to be intentional about what type of feedback we showcase where. Let's start with the homepage, that crucial first impression.
The goal here is to build trust and highlight your overall awesomeness. Feature a few short but impactful testimonials that capture the essence of your brand experience. Display your aggregate store rating prominently, maybe in the header or footer, so it's always visible. And consider a rotating carousel of customer success stories or press mentions to add that extra layer of social proof.
Now, on collection pages, where shoppers are browsing and exploring, we want to provide those quick nudges that encourage them to dig deeper.
Exactly. Show those average star ratings right on the product thumbnails. Include the total number of reviews to showcase popularity. Offer filtering options so shoppers can easily sort by highest rated within that category. And maybe even feature a category-specific testimonial that speaks to the overall quality or selection.
We've already talked about those all-important product pages, but just to reiterate, those star ratings near the Add to Cart button are crucial. Keep those full reviews easily accessible, highlight key product attributes that reviewers love, and showcase those visually compelling photo and video reviews.
Now, don't neglect those often overlooked cart and checkout pages. This is where we want to minimize those last-minute doubts and anxieties.
So a little reassurance goes a long way here.
Exactly. Display those security badges alongside a few reassuring customer testimonials that specifically mention the safety and security of shopping on your site. Highlight positive comments about your smooth delivery process or excellent customer service. Maybe even showcase an aggregate satisfaction statistic like 98% of our customers are happy with their purchase.
The goal is to instill confidence and keep those shoppers moving towards that checkout.
Precisely. And a dedicated reviews page can also be a fantastic asset. Make it easily accessible from your main menu, implement robust filtering and search options, and showcase a variety of review types, both product-specific and general brand feedback.
It's like a one-stop shop for all things social proof. And with so much shopping happening on mobile these days, we need to make sure our feedback displays are fully optimized for smaller screens.
Absolutely. Responsive design is a must. Use those expandable sections to save space, implement swipeable carousels for easy browsing, and make sure those images are optimized for fast loading.
The key is to create a seamless and enjoyable experience, regardless of how people are accessing your store.
Now, we've talked a lot about collecting and displaying feedback, but the real magic happens when we dive deeper and analyze those insights to extract those golden nuggets of wisdom.
Right. It's not enough to just read those reviews. We need to understand the underlying patterns, the unspoken needs, the subtle hints about what we can do better.
And thankfully, there are some amazing tools and techniques that can help us do just that. One of my favorites is sentiment analysis.
Okay, break that down for us. What is sentiment analysis?
Imagine having software that can read through hundreds, even thousands of reviews and instantly tell you the overall emotional tone. Are people generally happy, frustrated, excited?
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. You can track sentiment trends over time to see if overall customer satisfaction is improving or declining. You can compare sentiment across different product categories. Maybe one product line is consistently getting rave reviews, while another is struggling.
And we can pinpoint those specific features or aspects that are generating the most positive or negative reactions.
Exactly. It helps you prioritize those areas that need attention. And the best part, there are tons of Shopify apps that offer built-in sentiment analysis. It's getting easier than ever to tap into this kind of data.
Amazing. And then there's natural language processing, or NLP. It sounds super technical, but I have a feeling it's really helpful.
It is. It's all about teaching computers to understand human language. By applying NLP to your feedback, You can automatically identify those recurring themes, topics, and even specific phrases that keep popping up.
So it's like a super-powered word search that reveals those hidden patterns.
Exactly. You can see what questions customers are asking, what problems they're facing, and even the specific language they use to describe your products. It's gold for understanding those unspoken needs.
And with all those customer service calls and maybe even voice notes people send in, I bet audio feedback analysis is going to become increasingly important.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine being able to analyze not just the words, but also the tone, the inflections, the emotions behind those words. That's a whole new level of understanding.
It's like being able to read between the lines of a phone call.
Precisely. And the technology for this is already here. There are tools that can analyze the emotion in a voice, detect levels of enthusiasm or hesitation, even potentially identify demographic patterns.
That's incredible. Now, when you're dealing with tons of feedback from various sources, things can get pretty overwhelming. How do we keep it all organized?
Categorization is your best friend here. Develop a system for tagging each piece of feedback. Maybe you tag it by the product it relates to, the feature being discussed, the customer segment, or the specific issue being raised.
So instead of a jumbled mess, we have a structured database of insights.
Exactly. And once you have that, you can easily cross-reference information, spot trends across different areas, and really map that feedback to the customer journey.
Makes sense. But with so much feedback to act on, prioritization is key. We can't tackle everything at once.
That's where those prioritization frameworks come in. One simple approach is to create an impact versus effort matrix. Evaluate each potential improvement based on how much impact it could have and how much effort it would require.
So prioritize those high-impact, low-effort changes.
Exactly. You can also weight feedback based on the value of the customer segment it comes from. Are your most loyal customers consistently raising a particular issue? That should probably move up the priority list.
Makes sense. And focus on feedback that directly relates to your core unique selling propositions.
Absolutely. Those are the things that really set you apart from the competition. And here's a really powerful tip. Combine your qualitative feedback, all those rich insights from reviews and comments, with your quantitative data. Look at your conversion rates, return rates, customer lifetime value, and see how they correlate with specific feedback themes.
So it's not just about what people are saying, but also how their behavior aligns with those sentiments.
Exactly. It helps you identify those areas where making a change could have a real impact on your bottom line.
Okay, all this analysis is great, but it's all for nothing if we don't actually use those insights to improve our store. Let's talk about turning feedback into action.
This is where the rubber meets the road. We've listened, we've analyzed, now it's time to make things happen.
So how do we establish a system for actually implementing these changes? It's easy to get overwhelmed.
First, make it a routine. Schedule those regular review sessions, maybe weekly or monthly, where you actively go through your feedback data.
And involve the whole team, right?
Absolutely. Get insights from product development, marketing, customer service, everyone who touches the customer experience.
And document everything. Keep a central repository of all your feedback insights and the specific actions you're planning to take.
Once you've identified an area for improvement, break it down into actionable tasks. What specific changes will you make? What are your measurable goals? Who's responsible? What's the timeline?
Clear, defined, actionable. Love it.
And, just like with analysis, prioritize. Tackle those high-impact, frequently mentioned issues first. Focus on those high-traffic pages, those critical points in the customer journey.
And always be testing, right?
Always. Use A/B testing to compare those new implementations with the old. Track your key metrics. See what resonates. Don't be afraid to iterate and refine. And here's something that's so often overlooked. Close a feedback loop with your customers.
Tell them we're listening.
More than that, show them. Communicate those changes you've made based on their feedback. Maybe run a "You Asked, We Listened" campaign to highlight those customer-driven improvements. Thank those customers who provided particularly valuable insights.
It's all about showing that their voice matters.
Exactly. It fosters trust, encourages more feedback, and creates this beautiful cycle of continuous improvement.
Speaking of improvement, let's talk about personalization. How can we use customer feedback to create those tailored experiences that really wow shoppers?
Personalization is huge these days. It's all about making each shopper feel like you truly understand their needs. And when you use customer feedback to drive that personalization, it becomes incredibly powerful.
So where do we start?
Segmentation is a great place. Analyze those review patterns and create distinct customer segments based on shared preferences.
So like people who prioritize eco-friendly products or shoppers who are obsessed with a particular feature?
Exactly. And once you have those segments, you can customize everything from product recommendations to marketing messages to cater to their unique needs.
And we can use that feedback data to supercharge our product recommendation algorithms. Recommend items that people with similar tastes have loved, suggest complementary products based on what others have bought together, create those customers like you loved sections.
And think about dynamically adjusting your website content. If reviews consistently praise a particular feature, make sure that feature is front and center in your descriptions and images.
So it's like the website is morphing to reflect the collective voice of our customers.
In a way, yes. And don't forget those post-purchase communications. You can personalize those too.
Oh, right. Based on what people have said about specific products, we can tailor our follow-up emails with targeted tips, care instructions, or even suggestions for complementary items.
Exactly. And for those who really want to take personalization to the next level, there's AI-driven hyper-personalization.
Now we're talking.
This is where those advanced machine learning algorithms come in. They can analyze vast amounts of data, including your feedback, to predict individual preferences with incredible accuracy. It allows for real-time customization of content, recommendations, even pricing, all based on the individual shopper.
It's like having a personal shopping assistant for every single visitor.
Pretty much. And even if you're not a tech wizard, there are tons of user-friendly Shopify apps that can handle all this for you. Personalization is becoming increasingly accessible.
That's good to know. Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've talked about selling more, improving our store, personalizing the experience. But let's circle back to one of the most fundamental aspects of customer feedback, building trust.
Trust is everything in e-commerce. It's the foundation of every sale, every repeat customer, every loyal brand advocate, and genuine customer feedback is the most powerful tool you have to build that trust.
So how do we take all that positive feedback and turn it into those irresistible trust signals that win over hesitant shoppers?
First up, those trust badges and indicators are super effective. Create a custom badge that proudly displays your average customer review rating. Highlight those top-rated products with special indicators. Use those recognizable trust icons for your guarantees and return policies.
Oh, and celebrate those milestones. Reached a certain number of happy customers. Let the world know.
Absolutely. And if you're collecting feedback from multiple sources, consider showcasing a consolidated view. Display a running total of satisfied customers. Maybe create a visually appealing chart that shows your positive feedback trends over time.
And always emphasize those verified purchaser reviews.
Transparency builds trust. So don't be afraid to show those less than perfect reviews as long as you've responded to them professionally. Share stories about how you've improved based on feedback. Explain your review collection process. Be upfront about how you verify authenticity.
It's all about honesty and openness.
And don't underestimate the power of storytelling. Craft those compelling customer journey narratives, those before and after stories that highlight the positive impact your products have had on real people's lives. Share those heartwarming customer interactions.
It humanizes your brand and creates an emotional connection.
Exactly. And don't be shy about highlighting those reviews that specifically mention your expertise or the exceptional quality of your products. Let those satisfied customers sing your praises.
The most important thing is that those trust signals feel genuine and authentic, not like some cheesy marketing ploy.
Exactly. They should feel like helpful insights shared by real people, not forced sales pitches. Okay, so you've implemented all these amazing strategies, you're collecting feedback, you're analyzing it, you're putting it to work. How do we know if it's actually making a difference?
Yeah, measurement is key.
You got it. We need to track those key performance indicators, KPIs, to see if all this effort is actually moving the needle.
So what are we looking at? Conversion rates are an obvious one, right?
Absolutely. Track any changes in your overall conversion rate after implementing those review displays, trust signals, and personalization strategies.
And cart abandonment rates. Are fewer people abandoning their carts for products with lots of positive reviews?
Exactly. And what about time on page? Are people spending more time on those product pages with compelling reviews? Are they clicking on those reviews, filtering them, engaging with them?
And are those social proof elements in our marketing campaigns actually leading to more conversions?
All great questions. To answer them, you need a robust analytics setup. Track those interactions with your review sections. Create specific conversion funnels that include visitors who engage with feedback. Use heat maps to visualize how people are interacting with your reviews.
And track those internal site searches related to reviews. Are people actively looking for feedback?
A/B testing is your best friend here. Test different review display formats, different trust signals, different personalization strategies, and see which variations perform best.
And don't forget about segmenting your data. Analyze how different customer groups interact with your feedback. Maybe new visitors are more influenced by those verified buyer badges, while loyal customers respond better to personalized recommendations.
It's all about understanding those nuances.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, you want to calculate the return on investment, ROI, of your feedback efforts. How much revenue lift are you seeing? Are return rates going down? Is customer lifetime value increasing?
Show me the money.
Right. And it's not just about the dollars and cents. What about those less tangible benefits like increased customer satisfaction, stronger brand loyalty, and a more engaged community?
Those are hard to measure, but they're incredibly valuable.
They are. And here's the thing. A lot of Shopify stores that really nail this whole feedback thing are seeing some impressive results. We're talking 15 to 30% increases in conversion rates, 20 to 40% reductions in cart abandonment, even 10 to 25% boost in average order value.
Wow. That's a pretty compelling case for making customer feedback a core part of your strategy. To bring it all home, let's dive into some real-world examples of Shopify stores that have done this incredibly well.
I love a good success story.
Me too. So first up, we have a small handcrafted jewelry store. They really embraced those customer photo reviews, implemented those verified buyer badges, and automated those post-purchase review requests. Within 6 months, they saw a 78% increase in conversions, a 23% jump in average order value, and a 35% increase in repeat purchases.
Amazing. Proof that even small stores can see massive results. And then there's this larger fashion retailer. They used AI-powered tools to analyze their reviews, identified a recurring issue with sizing inconsistencies, and implemented a size recommendation tool based on that feedback.
Smart.
Right. They also use review data to personalize their email marketing. The result, a 42% reduction in returns, a 28% increase in conversions, and happier customers all around.
And we can't forget about that kitchen appliance store specializing in those high-end, complex products. They used feedback to create super detailed usage guides, troubleshooting tips, comparison charts, really addressing those pre-purchase anxieties.
And it worked. They saw a 65% conversion rate increase for those complex products and a 45% decrease in customer support inquiries. People were finding their answers right in those reviews.
Then we have this mobile-first clothing retailer who completely revamped their mobile review display. Swipeable carousels, easy submission process, the works.
And it paid off big time. They saw a 53% increase in mobile conversions and a 47% increase in mobile review submissions.
Wow, talk about optimizing for the right platform.
Right. And finally, we have this home goods store that turned negative feedback into a huge win. They were getting complaints about damaged packaging, so they redesigned it.